also talked about social media. One of the first things that we tried to describe or define is what exactly is social media. So we came up with a couple of keywords. Of course, the first one being it's user-generated. It's a two-way conversation. And then we added some interesting twist to it, one being that it's a more open data flow than other types of communications. Other attribute also it's quickly evolving. We talked a bit about Second Life. Last year's summit, I remember that was one of the topics, and nobody is talking about it anymore. So is it going to be the same thing with Twitter and Facebook, and what's going to be coming up in 6 months or a year from now? And the other thing also that we came up to is it's very diversified. Social media takes many different forms, and it might be hard to try to put everything in the same bucket. So that was scoping out what exactly is social media for us. Then we also included what are the type of involvement that companies are doing in terms of social media. One being the example of Omnicare, where there's a persona, but there's a real person behind it. The other type being a real employee being exposed as the voice of the company. And if that employee leaves, then you lose that voice. And then the third one being a fake persona, which probably isn't the right way to do it. And we also, I learned a new buzzword, astroturfing, which is a fake grassroots effort. So trying to scavenge the social media and input or fake comments, ratings, and so on, and usually, or the risk of backfiring is pretty high. Then we talked about, and we were talking about social media, so it was really like we were going all the way and coming back and so on, so it was pretty interesting. One of the things that came out of it is it might be more important to measure web pulse than measuring clicks and traffic and refers and so on. And one of the examples that I remember is We Feel Fine. It's an experiment in social media where they are looking at blogs and trying to extract emotions and sentiments of people writing on those blogs. And in a way, it could be interesting to explore text analysis and stuff like that in comments, blogs, Twitter, and so on, to try to extract the emotions and the feelings about your brand, your product, and so on. And in a way, it would be maybe more relevant than just measuring click-throughs and refers and so on. One of the other things that came out also is when you put forward social media from a company perspective, you basically help develop your own employee brand. You identify specific people within the organization where they will become a new type of brand for your own company. The other thing also that derived from that is usually there's no specific home in the corporation for social media. It fits anywhere. There's no predefined department. We talked about PR, we talked about marketing and so on, support, but it's not clear where it should be. One of the things also that we discussed is a real example where Twitter was used in a way as a tsunami alert. It could be used as a early announcement of something much bigger coming out. And how can you filter that and react on it? And the last point in this category is we tend to always try to bring the traffic to the website, where in reality, when we do social media efforts, sometimes it might be worth to help bring that traffic to wherever those users are. So it might be a better strategy. In terms of outcome, solutions, and next steps, I have a couple. It's like I said, it's too diversified, so it might be better to pick one activity and do it well rather than spreading out and trying to do everything at once. Be ready to try a couple of things, try it again if it doesn't work the first time. Like using Twitter and it didn't work for a while, so coming back to it and trying again. Same thing for Facebook and so on. Tracking seems to be virtually impossible. What we discussed basically is not tracking the fact that your visitors are coming from Facebook and Twitter and so on, because we're getting there. We have that information. Tracking exactly that the traffic is coming from YouTube, for example, but what did this person did on YouTube before coming to your site? We don't know. Did they search for something? What type of videos they looked at before coming to your site? Would be pretty interesting to know. So based on the fact that we probably don't have or will never have that information, the expectations for social media measurement is pretty high, but at the same time we accept that TV, radio, and newspaper are much less accurate. I guess the only reason why we think social media should be so precise in its measurement is just because it's the web and it's the internet. There's basically no other reason. One of the key points is to identify, and that came out within the group, identify who gets it in the company and empower them to do it. And sometimes it's going to be just hobbyists doing it on the side until it becomes more a real assignment or a real job. One of the other point also was to do social media training. I remember a couple of years ago we had to actually do sessions on explaining what is a web. And I guess we're at the point where we need to go within the company, explain what is social media. And a couple of call to actions. For us, collectively, look more at the web pulse than trying to measure specific referrals or clicks and stuff like that. One call to action for Omniture had a social media tab. So instead of having, right now we have referrals, we have marketing, we have campaigns, add a new way of seeing the incoming traffic based on, is it a blog, is it Facebook, is it YouTube, or a video site, is it something like Facebook, Twitter, and so on. So a different view of the incoming traffic. And another one for suggestion for Omniture would be to use user voice, so that I think the point that came out is when Brett Erhard do the bring on your suggestions, would be interesting to have that all the time throughout the year and be able, as a client, to go and vote and suggest new features and enhancements. So that's it.